Howdy, welcome into day number 2 of the 12 days of Wolfmas, where I play 12 sessions in a row and I post the results and give all the money away to you guys, the subscribers. So after day 1, we are up $778 in around 4 hours of play. I'm wearing a Poker House hat, but that's not where we're at. We're here in Dallas at TCH Social Las Colinas, and I'm gonna play some 1-2, get in for $300 and try to run it up to around $600, $700, $800. Let's see what I can do in about a few hours of time. If you guys are new here, the way that you are eligible to win the money is you have to like the video, you have to be a subscriber, 2 free things, and the third free thing, all you have to do is leave a comment down below, and the comment has to be including the keyword that I give you in the outro. So make it through to the end and comment down below what I tell you to do. And as for now, we're gonna get into the hands, make some money, and give it back to you guys. Let's go! First hand of the night, we look down at pocket nines. With $300 in our stack, we're faced with an under the gun open and a call. Instead of 3-betting here, I decide to call in position, but the small blind has other ideas. Makes it $55 to go, and when the +1 calls, I'm in there like swimwear, baby. I put in the call. We're gonna look to flop a set. And flop a set we do on a 9-8-8 board. Bang! We flop top boat to be exact. The beauty of this is we'll be in position the rest of the way, so when the small blind makes it $75, the +1's out of the way, and we are going to flat, play it nice and slow here, and let him give us all of his chips on further streets. Turn comes an ace, which is great because in case he was bluffing on the flop, he might have connected on this ace on the turn. He jams all in for 170, and I make the fastest call of my life for you guys here. We're playing a nearly $700 pot for you guys, and he turns over a boat. Pocket 3s full of 8s, but he got there on the river. Unfortunately for him, we have the better boat. 9s full of 8s, taking down a $672 pot straight out of the gate.
Yada, yada, yada.
We're in Profitsville already for you guys, and our luck gets even better when we look down at the best hand ever created, and I make it $15 to go. Andrew, our good buddy in the small blind, puts in the call, and the +1 does as well. That means we are 3 ways to the flop. I have position on both players. When the board comes ace, 9, 7, bang, we flop top set. Back-to-back pocket pairs turning into sets and boats on the flop. What is our luck here? It must be a Christmas miracle. And the villain in the +1 donks into us for $25. Am I ever raising here on a monotone board? I don't know. I just put in the call here. Hopefully no spade on the turn. Maybe the board can pair. That would be even better, and Andrew's out of the way. The turn now comes the king of diamonds, and the +1 slows down and checks. Is he going for a sneaky check raise here, or is he just giving up on the hand? I think betting and checking from my spot both have merit. However, I decide to put more money in the middle. If I get raised here, it's almost certainly a flush, and I can get away from the hand if I want to, or maybe gamble a little bit, put in a call, and try to pair the board. However, that's not what happens. When I fire out for $50, he just puts in a smooth call, and we see the best card we could have ever hoped for, the ace of clubs. Bang! We river quads. 2 insane hands to start off the session here in Dallas, and it gets even gnarlier when the villain bets out for $50. Once again, he's donking into me, and of course, we're coming in for a hefty raise. Do I get super greedy and rip it all in, or do I just go for a 3, 4, 5x size raise? That's what I decide to do. I don't want him to fold, even though his line is so weird, and it's probably pretty strong. I make it $250 to go instead of jamming, and he thinks about it for a little while before putting in the call. I'm never going to see what he has. I turn over my quads immediately. Don't want to slow roll this guy. We're taking down back-to-back $700 pots. You guys should be pretty happy about that. Ace jack of hearts down. We make it $15 to go. Small blind puts in the call. Off the flop we go, and it comes 6-6-4. I decide to go for a c-bet, and he calls, and that brings in the 7 on the turn. I continue with the story of an overpair, and he believes me now and mucks his cards. See, we're not winning only when we have the best hand. That was definitely a bluff. Maybe ace high was good. Who knows? 120 coming our way. Up $700, we look down at king queen offsuit from the big blind. Andrew limps, and I decide to make it $15, and he puts in the call. When the flop comes queen high, I mix between betting and checking here. I start with a check this time, and the flop checks through. That brings in the 6 of spades on the turn, and now we need to get some value from worse queens, some pocket pairs like 7s, 8s, and 9s. and I make it $15 to go. When Andrew raises to 55, he either has a queen, maybe a set of fives, maybe a 6x, like 6-7, 6-5, a6, or his bluffs might be some spade draws. So given the fact I underplayed my hand on the flop, I can't fold just yet. I put in the call, and the river's not a good one because it brings in a lot of his bluffs. It's the 4 of spades, and I decide to get some information by donking out into him. If he just calls here, he probably has a queen and will win. If he raises, there's not many bluffs. It's almost always a 6, pocket 5s, or a flush on the river. So sure enough, I bet 20, he makes it 135. He doesn't just flat or fold, which were the 2 preferred options. Instead, 135 is the price we are laid. I think about it for a little while, but I'm not going to give away our hard-earned money that I'm supposed to be giving away to you guys. I don't want to give it to Andrew.
Pocket 5s, 6-7 suited, backdoor flush.
I end up folding my cards, and he won't show me his cards in the real time, but he allowed me to put my phone next to his cards so you guys could see what he had and see if I made a good fold. And sure enough, he had pocket 5. So he flops the set, checks it back, he raises the turn and bets big on the river. We get away from that one. I feel like I lost the minimum. Merry Wolfmas, everybody. As you already know, I'm picking 7 lucky winners to split the profits of my 12 days of poker. But I have a special announcement that will be sure to sweeten the deal to make you want to enter. Champions Card Club in Houston has graciously offered to pay for all 7 winners' flights and hotel stays, where each of you will receive your winnings as a buy-in on the Champions Club live stream. That's right, a round-trip flight, 2-night hotel stay, and your first buy-in on the Champions 2-5 live stream, all covered for free. Oh, and did I mention you'll be playing against me, Wolfgang, on the live stream? That's right, all of you who keep commenting that you take my money at the poker table, well, now it's your time to step up to the felt. Remember, in order to enter, you need to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment the keyword I give at the end of the video. Good luck and happy holidays. Ace queen from the button, we see a limp. I make it 15 and the limper calls. Off to a flop we go, which comes ace 10 deuce, and he checks it over to me. I go for a half pot c-bet and he puts in the call. Turn comes a brick, it's a 7 of diamonds, and I bet out for 40 this time when he checks to me. And now this time he folds. They all can't be super interesting, but chipping up like this is a great way to boost your win rate and your profits. And it doesn't hurt when you're flopping top pair with a great kicker. This next one's fun. We're going to battle Andrew once again. King 7 of diamonds from the big blind. Andrew in the +1 makes it 15, and I defend, putting in the call. A 9-7-4 board is what we have to work with, and he bets out for $20, and I decide to put in the call with a pair. Because as we all know, a pair is pretty hard to make. And if a pair is hard to make, 3 of a kind on the turn is even harder. But when you do make it, hopefully you get paid. I check it over to Andrew, and he fires out for $40. Given the fact he could have all the over pairs, he could also have some flush draws like hearts or spades, maybe even some straight draws as well, like 5-6 suited or 10-8 suited. I think the time is now to raise it up and spring the trap. I also would be doing this with a lot of my bluffs, like straight draws and flush draws, so it's not only 9s full, 4s full, and then some 7x. I make it $125 to go. Andrew's a good player, he folds his cards, but I gotta needle him after the hand.
I might have had you. I think I.
You had me, dude. You had me.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh. I got banged.
You got banged. King Jack of Hearts now is what the poker gods have blessed us with. I make it $15, and Andrew and the small blind both call. We see a flop which comes king high, which is pretty great, but in between 2 opponents, I'll usually start with a check. That's what I do here, and Andrew checks behind, bringing in a queen on the turn. Queen doesn't really change anything. Actually, I kind of like it because if someone has a hand like Queen Jack, Queen 10, Ace Queen, they now will call a bet. If someone had King Queen on the flop, although I highly doubt that, we were behind already. So like I said, it doesn't really change too much. Small blind checks to me. I decide to go for a $30 bet, which seems a little bit suspicious after I check the flop. And both players agree with me, putting in the call, bringing in the 10 of clubs on the river. Now King 10 gets there and Queen 10 gets there as well. Additionally, Ace Jack and Jack 9. However, look at my cards. I have the Jack of Hearts in my hand. So there's only 3 other Jacks left to choose from. When the small blind checks to me, I think we need to go for a little bit of thin value. If someone raises, we can get out of the way, giving them credit for 2 pair or a straight. I fire out for $45. Andrew puts in the call. The small blind doesn't love it. He says he has to call and puts it in as well. And yeah, dude, you have to call. You have top 2 pair. You're taking down that nearly $300 pot. Severely underplayed his hand pre-flop, on the flop, turn, all the streets. All right, let's make back some money for you guys. Our chip stack is going in the wrong direction. We look down at pocket kings. What better hand to get some money back? And the button opens it up to $10 over a limp. When the small blind calls, we want to go large here. We don't want to get tricky and make it $30, and they both call, getting a great price. But the downside with going large is sometimes they're not going to have a good enough hand to continue, which is exactly what happens here, and we make $20. We downgrade from pocket kings to pocket tens. I make it $15 over a cutoff limp. Andrew calls from the big blind, and that brings in the cutoff as well. Going 3 ways to a flop, which comes ace, 9, deuce, and I decide to go for a $20 bet, betting my range. The cutoff is out of there, but not Andrew. He puts in the call, getting a little sticky here on the 7 of spades turn. The action goes check, check. I think I would do this with some of my aces as well. The river comes the jack of clubs. We now are downgraded to third pair. So when Andrew checks to me for a third time, let's just get to a showdown. I don't really think going for thin value against specifically 8-9 or king-9 suited is the best play. We check it down and win against pocket fives. That brings us into the second to last hand of the night, ace-king offsuit. And I decide to 3-bet Vladimir here to $40, and he puts in the call. +2 versus hijack. The flop comes king 6 deuce with 2 spades. He checks it over to me, and I go for a 1/3 pot size c-bet. He puts in the call, and the 4 of hearts comes on the turn. More of the same for me. I size up now to $100, and he doesn't think about it for too long before putting in the call. I think a lot of his flush draws would think about it for a little bit longer, so I'm weighting him towards a lot of his kings. So king queen, king jack, maybe king 10 as well. Of course, he still could have ace 5 of spades. That hand would definitely not fold here. But yeah, I think he mostly has some strong kings, so when the river card comes a brick, gotta go for all of it, and I rip it all in, covering him around $250 effective. He flicks in a chip, saying there's not much he loses to. I show him one of those hands. He mucks his cards, in a nearly $900 pot coming our way, and told you guys I'd get that chip stack going in the right direction. Alright, last hand of the night, Vladimir makes it $10 to go once again from the hijack, and I've been 3-betting his face-off like crazy. So why not do it with a good hand, pocket tens? The poker gods are giving me the right ammunition. He puts in the call, and we're off to a flop, which comes queen, jack 9 with 2 diamonds. He checks to me, and I go for a c-bet. Kind of an iffy play here, going for a c-bet with second pair and an open-ended straight draw. I think maybe checking back is the better move. He's so short as well. He only started the hand with $121. And this is exactly what I'm worried about. When I bet, he just rips it all in for 91, and I'm forced to call here with third pair. Of course, I do have the open-ended straight draw, but I don't even have the 10 of diamonds in my hand, so all around not the best spot to be in. He says he has a straight when we turn the set, so I need the board to pair, and that's exactly what happens on the 9 of spades river. We have his number tonight, and I'm sending him to the rails. He was a nice guy, so shout out to you, Vladimir, if you're watching this, but I'm going to take down that $270 pot, give it back to my loyal subscribers. With that last hand in the books, we rack up our chips and head over to the cage, exchanging them for some cold hard cash. And now let's bring it to the outro to see how much money I've made through 2 sessions so far on the 12 days of Wolfmas. Alright, that wraps up day 2 of the 12 days of Wolfmas. This time I played 2.5 hours and made $1,123. That brings our total in 6.5 hours of play up to $1,901. I'm going to give all of that away to 7 lucky winners at the end of the 12 days. And good news for you is I'm hosting a live stream at Champions Club down in Houston. They're paying for your flight, for 2 days of hotel, and then I am giving you the buy-in on the table. And you guys can play and win and share the live stream with your friends. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to happen sometime in February. In order to be one of the 7 eligible winners, you have to leave a comment down below with the word quads in it. So something about quads on the poker table, maybe you hit the gym and you hit your quad, something about that. I'm going to make sure you comment on all 12 videos to be eligible for the giveaway on December 27th. Also want to give a huge shout out to my poker coach Alvin, who's made me a better poker player in 2023. We're going to do a lot of work in 2024 to take me to the next level. We also made a $77 course. That link's below along with his email. If you want to get private coaching, hit him up. Good luck on the felt, you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow in the next one. Wolfmas Day 2 out. Peace.